What's good, family? It's your favorite cousin, and welcome back to BNT TV. And today we got a special one. We got my cousin Gov in the building.
Peace, what up?
Billboard chart artist, Grand Hustle alumni.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Soundtrack placements, all that good stuff,
Yep.
man. And I really don't think your story gets told enough. And today it ain't just going to be about the music, man. It's going to be about the timing, the resilience, purpose. So let's get right down to it, man. Gov, welcome to the platform.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate
being here, brother. I appreciate having the platform.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. So look, I want to get right into it, man. A lot of people know you as governor from your early industry days.
Yeah.
Today you go by as a Gov or Gov?
Just Gov.
Just Gov, okay.
Yeah.
So what changed in you internally before the rebrand ever became public?
Well, a lot had changed. It had actually been something I've been wanting to do the more I learned about the game.
Okay.
You know, and learning, because that was like one of my biggest issues getting into the game. I was talented. I knew my craft, but I didn't know, the little tricks of the trade that came with the game. You know, how to completely protect your intellectual property, how to keep as much as you could for yourself and protect yourself on all different levels. And so, I signed by my complete government name when I signed. I used my government name. Okay. I didn't create a pseudonym. I didn't create anything that could be a tax structure for myself or some kind of structure in business. To kind of shield myself by using my own personal name, or from using my personal name.
Gotcha.
So the pseudonym, it's a lot about rebranding, about things I've learned and who I've become too.
Okay. Definitely. So coming from Charles City, Virginia, which a lot of people may not know, you know what I'm saying? How did growing up in like a small county like that shape your hunger and maybe your patience for the industry?
Oh, that's a good question, bro, because like you added both of them. You talked about the hunger, but then you talked about the patience. Yeah. And that's big.
Okay.
Like, because this is a game where people don't get to see the timeline of patience. They see the outcome of success. Yeah. Or they may even see your climb to success. But these days, if you don't even have enough numbers to be visible or to even be relevant, then you don't even get that thought incited around you. Yeah. Nobody thinks of you in that way regardless. So Charles City, man,
they think it's overnight. Like,
they think it's boom. You just arrived. You just
yeah, out of nowhere. Like, no, I've been working. You know what I mean?
It's a process. And Charles City taught me a lot about that process, because just like everything else, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your, your ins and outs, your squares and your circles. It's the planet of duality, bro. It's the planet of duality. It can't ever be one way.
That's true.
In order for us all to coexist. So Charles City taught me, man, hey, listen. After 8 p.m. down here, you can't see your hand in front of your face at night. So there won't be lights everywhere.
Okay, I got it.
You're going to have to learn how to feel your way through life. Okay. For real. And I kind of learned how to feel my way. As my homie Jay, man, he said, yo, man, you almost a phantom, that's been through the industry, that people, you've been around everybody, but, yet still a lot of people didn't get a chance to connect totally to you. But I've been a part of so many projects. Okay. And so when that light came to darkness, I had to be able to Charles City again, feel my way around music and feel, like, what is the world needing right now? Like, what is the earth telling us right now through music? Because I believe, I learned a lot about the science of why they choose certain songs, why they choose and create certain eras and certain powerhouses out of what genre at what time. It all has to do with what's happening on the earth at the time.
Now, I almost want to tell you to dive into that a little
bit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm interested now.
I mean, for so long, man, everything must change. Everything spin left, then they come back right. Sometimes they spin right and then come back center. It's all about balance. And so right now, I believe that, now is a great time for me because, hip hop is an era we all, most of us enjoy. There are songs that tap back and they link to your childhood or your development in some stage in life, to where you hear that song and you can see that day in your mind. Yeah. You can go right back to that moment, whether it was joy, pain, laughter, whatever. You could go right back. Yeah, and so
the song dropped, man. That was
man. Yeah. Go right back to it, and that's just the power of music. But I believe that right now, with a lot of the switches and changes that we're seeing even in the political world, as far as what's happening now, it's like, like hip hop, everything runs its course. And so now, that kind of energy, even though we always had love songs, for the first time in over 25, almost 30 years, there was no hip hop in top 10.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Yeah.
So what is that saying? That demographic and those numbers are telling you, oh, there may be a little spot for love now. We're not going to tell anyone, but maybe the universe wants good, solid music talking about something very positive from a loving place. Something that brings back that generation where we had more whole families raising kids instead of the broken homes that were raised by hip hop culture, because it happened in that time. We couldn't escape it.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Okay, I got you on that one, man. That's definitely something dope. And we do need more love music, man. Not just sex music. We need love music too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then not even just about that love between male and female. Or hey, listen. Whoever you choose to love. Okay? What I'm saying is that essence of that bond together, making not just our relationship, but all of that energy connects from person to person, from group to group, from, just being to being. So just what it'll do for the planet on a whole, just bringing more love and raising that frequency and that vibration of love back to the forefront.
Okay. I definitely see that, man. We definitely gonna get more into that too. But I want to go here, real quick. So you were signed to Grand Hustle.
Yep.
Through Atlantic Records.
Yes. Well, I was signed to Atlantic first, and for almost 3 years, Kurt Coleman begged me to do a deal with T.I.
For real.
And he begged me, and I said, you know what, man? I don't really see it, and I really don't see it. But after 3 years, if you can't find out how to market me, and you can't find out how you really want to put, okay, I'll try it.
Okay, well, I think you may have halfway answered the rest of the question there. I was going to say, at the time when they placed you under T.I.'s mentorship, man, did you feel like that was an alignment or like an expectation?
I felt, okay, I'm going to answer that in two parts.
Okay.
When it was first introduced to me, I never felt that it would work.
Okay.
I felt that, I had already had a 50 Cent in my life way before I met T.I.
Okay, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, there was always a 50 Cent around before T.I. And so I learned a little bit about kind of dealing with hip hop oriented labels or labels that were entities that had major label relationship, and how this branding of the culture of this product, sometimes it can coexist, but will there be a good matchup? I can write a few songs that'll fit your brand, after you get tired of shooting and being out on the corner and you want to come inside and say hello to your woman, there I am. Or after you've left your lady and now you're going back out to the street to do whatever you want to do, there I am there too. I can be in those places, but can you be in my place? And that's what I kind of found out about hip hop, their brands would not allow them to come but so far over to my side as far as the amount of songs or that generated cumulative time of what they're spitting into your brain.
Got you.
Those lyrics have to be
you gotta stay
coordinated. You gotta stay in your
lane.
And so I said, man, here we go again.
Okay, so do you think when they placed you there, would you think it was like give you street credibility, especially looking back now? Do you think that truly served you as an artist, as an R&B artist, or do you feel like it was more an alignment because I think during that time they were using more R&B artists to actually do hooks,
exactly,
and maybe a verse or two on a hip hop song to kind of blend the worlds but keep them separate. You know what I mean?
And I think that's where you hit it off. That second option, I think, was it because they knew that the power of R&B was still very strong. Now, how do we bring the check from both sides in the middle, which actually started all of your, or became probably that aha moment? Everybody started doing features with R&B artists. And in my era, I was one of those guys. I got a feature with almost everybody.
Oh, wow.
But when it came to, I mean, from, like I said, from T.I. to 50 Cent, Lil' Kim, Wyclef Jean, I mean, these were all people that sold millions of records.
Definitely.
Millions.
People consider them legends, too.
Legends. Yeah. But when it came time to do my project, there were roadblocks.
All right. So let's talk about that. You dropped your first album. Was it called Son of Pain?
Yeah, well, actually, that was my first major label project I dropped. I dropped an independent project called Another State of Mind.
Okay.
That came out on Warlock.
Okay.
And a smaller branded company as well.
Okay, so I want to ask you though about that album particularly. You said that was your first major album, right?
Son of Pain.
So, how much of that project you feel reflected what you were personally going through at that time? Like, give us the breakdown of Son of Pain.
Son of Pain was exactly how you kind of just that's crazy. It's kind of how you just presented it in a word like way. Son of Pain was me trying to figure out exactly how much of an artistic side I was going to show in the industry and how much side of a real side of me I was going to show in the industry. And a lot of the topics I delved into things all the way from my childhood and my upbringing, as they say, or my development, from lending lingo, from being raised in the church, or lending lingo that will tell you I've had, plenty of street experiences. I tried to bring out all of these assets or these focal points of my life on Son of Pain. All the way down to, relationships with people that some would claim questionable. Well, those were my dogs. Those are my people.
Gotcha.
So I was trying to, in one way, be as honest as possible, but at another time, understand where I was in the game. Understand what kind of music, what kind of sound was winning in R&B. Understand that this is a marketplace. We're going to compete. You're competing with all these other artists. What's going to make you different, but yet still make you just as likable and wantable when it comes to music as them?
I like that. So
yeah, it's a spin.
Okay. Well, look, I want to go here, man. And let me know if this is true or not. I want to make sure my research is right.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So before Grand Hustle, did you have a project with Dr. Dre that never made it out?
I sure did.
Okay, so something like that. Hold on, I daughter called me. Excuse me. So with something like that, how does that setback like shape you as an artist? Like your confidence? Like, okay, yo, I just worked with arguably the best producer ever in hip hop, and now the whole project will never see the light of day. Like, how does that feel? You know what I mean?
Man.
And I know, and you know, especially when you know with some heat on it too, it's like, man, this could have changed my career right here, man. But, you know.
Man, it digs deep at you. It digs deep at you, man. You know, and I've been, and it's funny that you say it and you set it up that way, because I've been in that scenario a few times, but that scenario with him was the most hurtful.
Okay.
That's the one I wanted to work more than anyone.
Yeah, I can see that.
He was right. It was a producer. He wasn't stuck on an artist thing.
Mm-hmm.
He just was a producer that just wanted to do good music. And out of everybody, I really feel like he wanted me to win the most. The first time I met him, it's crazy, right? Because, okay, I'm from Virginia, right?
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia, you know. I know people everywhere, you know. So I'm pulling up to the studio, Larrabee East, pulling up to Larrabee, riding with Haitian Jack, pulling up to a studio session. Dr. Dre.
It almost sounds crazy when you think about it. Like, yo, man, I'm from here, and now I'm working with Dre, and we have a chance to make history.
So the first day, the session, I'll never forget it, man. We're in the studio. He takes me through the studio. We're walking in Larrabee, man. Huge ass live room. I mean, live room look like a freaking half a basketball court.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, this is incredible. SSL board, ready to go. Freaking your choice, of course. You know, industry stuff. You got the C series mics. So you got your freaking, you know, U87s. I'm a U87 guy. So Dre is like, listen. This is my engineer. He said, I got some joints already ready. I'm just going to pull up some stuff for you to hear. Anything you want, you like, just take it. It's yours.
Wow.
I'm like, wow.
A
buffet. Yo, do you smoke? Yes, sir, I do. so Dre sits down, man, has his homie, man, pull out a jar, man, and we just light up and start listening to tracks. And then he leaves. He says, listen, I'm going to go upstairs. He said, tap me when you're ready. Bro, we went in that session, I think it was about maybe, I always have late sessions. I think it was maybe about 9, 10 o'clock. I think I tapped him maybe 6 hours later. I had 2 songs already done, written and recorded when I tapped him. And he woke up and he said, now I see what they say. I'll talk about full, written, done, backgrounds, everything. Sell it now.
So, I got to ask you the question. What happened?
Man. When I got signed to Atlantic gave me $1 million deal. When Dre came in, he told Atlantic, you're going to have to give me another $1 million and I'm going to do this project because I know it's going to go. Well, by this time, T.I. has his fingers around my project. He's already got his fingers in conversation-wise around my project. And I actually I know that Atlantic and who was directly involved, I don't know, but just from the things I learned about Tip, he's a great artist. He's a hell of a writer. I respect his music. I loved recording with him. But me, I'm an alpha male without being, I don't have to have it all.
Okay.
You good? You great at what you do? Come on, let's rock together. Let's get this money. Let's build something. Everybody's not like that.
True that, definitely.
Some people want it all. They want to be at the front and center of every conversation. They want to be the person that's telling the joke in the room, having everyone to laugh with them while the cyphers are around. I'm not like that.
Okay.
I'll sit in the back in the corner and let everybody have a good time. You don't even have to say me or see me. Say hi to me or see me. You don't. I'm there.
I see where you're getting at with this.
So we were like oil and water. And I still know in my heart that till this day, my deal fell apart so that someone could steal from my stuff and turn it and take it for theirs. And I know that's what happened on my project. I know my budget was being used to support other artists on the label that I had nothing to do with. And then I had relationships with people like Jack. And at that time, the industry was trying to shut Jack down. So I had a lot of hate coming from a lot of different directions.
Got you. Dang, I knowing that I definitely would have liked to hear that project though. You know what I mean? So I want to go here, man, because I want to shift gears a little bit because you mentioned it before. You've been around a lot of legends and worked with a lot of them, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 50 Cent who said you were extremely talented and about to blow. So when you hear something like that from someone like 50, and then when you see life take a different route, like, what does that do also?
Like I said, it can be very demoralizing, man. It just, if I didn't just, well, if there weren't, if there wasn't another side to me that kind of understands exactly, I see this thing in a 3D realm, and then I see this thing in a whole other dimensional way. Meaning that, what's the old saying said? Sometimes just because you've been delayed doesn't mean you've been denied. And I look at all of this just like that. Okay, I was delayed from hitting my stride. I wasn't denied from helping them build their empires, because truly I did. I mean, 50 will tell you where he got one of his biggest songs, 21 Questions, came from. I had a song called What Do You Think When You Think of Me? Do you think about winning? What do you see when you look at me? Do you see a way out? That's what 50 took 21 Questions from. Yeah, and even told me. Even told me.
Wow, that's crazy. So do you think that when that happened though, did that moment make you question the industry or yourself more?
It made me question everything.
Okay.
And because it's like, I watched all of these guys go on to become millionaires. And my project didn't reach that success. And then I look at it in a whole different way. I know that I had a record sitting at number 50 on Billboard called Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I was charting. And then I also know that after being asked to come to a party where T.I. and Tiny and Will Smith and Jada and Puffy and Cassie were supposed to come pick me up out of Atlanta while I was working. And I turned down that party. And after I turned down that party, my album or my song that was on Billboard disappeared.
Now, see, in today's era, when you say something like that, people gonna be looking like, oh,
it disappeared.
What happened?
I know what happened.
Okay. All right, so
I know what happened, and what I told people for years is now coming to light. Everybody can see it on their own TV. You can pick up your own phone, and you can see just how dark and deeply connected this industry is.
And I ain't even gonna say no. I'm just let it breathe right there. You know what I mean? But and so let's switch gears here too. You did have songs on, a lot of soundtracks and things like that. Did those moments feel like they were validations, or do they still remind you of how close you were, at that time?
Well, they're definitely validations. They definitely say, hey, I have a product and I have an ability to sustain myself right there in the mix of all of those chart toppers, all of those platinum selling artists. Yeah. I have what they have. They don't have anything better or different than me. We're just artists of a different expression.
Okay. All right, so let's go here, man. So you back now. The hiatus. How long were you out? Let's say out the industry or not actively making music.
I left Germany, I believe, 2012. I believe it was 2011 before I self-destruct tour.
Okay.
And after that, I took a bit of a hiatus.
Okay. And so now you're back.
Yeah.
You're Gov. I won't say it's a comeback, but more so of a continuation. So what version do you think has finally been heard on I Give You Me?
What version of me?
Mm-hmm.
I Give You Me, I think was I took it back to something that I grew up on. It really wasn't like a R&B expression. It was really soulful.
Mm-hmm.
It took it back to an Aretha Franklin. The intimacy of Marvin's voice. It had that intimacy around my voice that I kind of longed to do a song like that. But here again, you have to know in the marketplace what's out there sometimes, and it just felt good to give or to have a time and a space for me to think that, boom, I think I'm going to throw this out here now. I think I've solidified myself enough in the R&B world and, to let people know I know my craft. This is what I do.
I got you. Okay, so with music, I do believe you said it can make people either docile or align their energy.
Mm-hmm.
What energy were you intentional about putting into this new era?
I was very, very cognizant about staying with a higher frequency.
Okay.
I was very, very, very intentional about using the concept of the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I only delve into speaking anything of a negative or a lower frequency, should I say,
mm-hmm.
to create something that people can relate to.
Okay.
But I don't ever want to stay there. And I don't ever want people to stay there.
Mm.
How do we get to the good part? Show me the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. Don't just show me the hustle, but show me what to do with my money. So my money doesn't choke me out. That kind of mentality. Okay. Show me how to protect myself, but then show me after I protect myself how to bring peace. Let's not just continue to fight.
I got you.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my music to represent. Okay. Let's relate to it, relax from it, and then release.
Got you. It kind of put me in that mind state, man, that saying, you catch a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, you can feed him forever.
Gave him the light at the end of the tunnel. You talked about his problem, and then you gave him a solution.
Okay. I like that. And so I want to go here too, man, and just from like a fan perspective, from the outside, some people thought you may have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But from the inside, it seems like were you rebuilding, or were you, basically what I'm saying is, we stopped saying your name. It's like, governor's gone.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, I'm thinking now, like, was it a rebuilding, or were you recovering from?
That's a very astute question, brother, because it's actually both.
Okay.
I was disappearing. I had to lose that person that was being crushed by the denial, as well as being defied. But yet and still, all of the disappointments, I was being crushed. I had to lose that person. And I actually had to then go and kind of rebuild and revamp myself to say, no, this is just a part of your struggle. It doesn't define you. Mm-hmm. I've already defined myself. Look at all the music I've done. I defined myself. And now I just have to wait until it's my time. Everyone will have their time differently.
True. It
just wasn't for me to have mine in the inception of all of this greatness happening around me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I wasn't qualified.
Yeah.
I was still right there. But there are some things that I would have done differently, which is why a different situation happened to me. If I would have done what a lot of other people would be willing to do, mm-hmm. I'd be in a different situation now, would I? Yeah. If I was willing to go to the parties, if I was willing to hang out in all the other rooms and do what happens in those rooms, I'd be at the top of the game. I wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Well, I'm kind of glad we are having this conversation.
I'm loving that. I'm loving that we're having this conversation. Like I said, because it helps me to. It just helps me. I just want to be that little piece of foundation for somebody else that loves music, that they know they have a gift, that they know they deserve for their music to be heard. They know that they deserve to at least make a living. I don't say, I'm not saying, hey, I don't have to have $100 million. That's not what I'm gunning at here. What I'm saying is, this is my gift. Just like every other human being that's been given a gift, I should be able to use that to help me sustain my life.
Definitely.
That's all. That's all I want. If I could make myself $100,000 a year off of my music, I'd be fine. And that's all I'm gunning for, and that's what I'm going to get.
Okay. So I have this question here. Now that I would guess, do you still consider yourself part of the industry, or?
No, I'm not an industry artist. I'm just an artist in the industry.
I got you. And so my question to you would be, on that would be, do you think that the industry gives you space to heal, or only space to be replaced?
Only space to be replaced.
All right, let's move on.
They don't care if you heal or not.
Got you. And so, on I Give You Me, definitely sounds like there's a lot of vulnerability to it. Do you think, was this feeling like scary, or was it a freeing feeling when you came back here now to do the music?
Well, it was kind of freeing. Like you said, I'm going to start off in a place that I know if I was in the industry, I wouldn't be allowed to start off in that place. They wouldn't allow that record to start off with. They would have spun me somewhere else, something that gains more shock value, something that can be spun in different other ways, whether it's product alignment or something else. And then, like this is the thing that kills me about the industry. All right. I came in at the same time. My album came out on the same day as a guy, a very, very famous guy. And I don't care, but hey, Justin Timberlake is Justin Timberlake. But yet and still, if they would have allowed me, which was my thing. See, they put us in a backwards transition. If you watch a kid like 50 Cent right now, 50 had to come in with the street attire. Now, he is slowly being allowed to transition because of him being in a different marketplace to a whole different kind of wear as far as what he wears in his clothes. Yeah. Now you see him, he's dressed up, he's slick sometimes, he's got on a suit tie at the top. Well, that's all I wanted to be on Atlantic was to be a young black artist that dressed it up, that made it fly, and we kept this thing very, very sleek. But they kept trying to brand me on the other side of the street, where things look like a Tim in a hoodie, and they tried to keep me on the hip hop perspective of branding. When all I told them, all you had to do was, man, let me wear my suit and tie.
But that in that time though, that's where a lot of the R&B was. Like, if you look at groups like Jodeci, Jagged Edge, even Kales or Tank and all that, it wasn't really the suited up R&B. It was more like,
and that's what
R&B gangster.
Exactly, and that is what the difference would have been.
Okay,
but yet and still, Justin wears suit and tie.
I don't think I see him in a suit and tie until the sexy back stuff when he got a little older.
Did any
You'll make me think. All right, come on.
All I'm saying is, there's a little race bait of a game to it too, because I'm not color stricken at all. I'm not at all. But sometimes they get to do certain things that we don't get to do. They get to put on a suit and tie. They don't have to hit the urban edge, in the market. They can just be themselves, and they can just be cool. Or they can just wear some freaking holy jeans and say, "I'll never put on a suit and tie until it's Grammy night."
Okay, I can see that.
Still be accepted, and no one cares.
So you felt the same way. Like I should be able to wear my suit
and tie and not have any issues. And not have any issues.
Yeah. And honestly, thinking back to it, man, that was I don't want to say traditional R&B look, but R&B artists definitely separated themselves from the hip hop and the way that they carried themselves, dressed and things like that. So
yeah, it had a little more flair.
Yeah,
a little more flair, a little more pizzazz.
Somewhere in the early '90s, as it moved on from the '60s, '70s, and '80s style, they were wearing the suits and being a little,
Yeah, they brought it in a little bit. Some of it was just a little flamingo-ish,
I got you. So I want to go here real quick, man, and shift gears, man. This is probably my last question I have, actually. So you're working on a documentary right now.
Right.
What's the one thing you hope people finally understand about you and your journey when it's all said and done? And what do you want people to respect about Gov and what they may have missed with Governor?
Well, what I just want people to take from this project, number one, is just that it's just all about a mark of our resiliency. If it's what you love and you feel that you can still do it in a way that deserves quality and respect, do it. Keep doing it. Don't let ageism and the definition of an era stop you from doing what you're doing. Like, we're all connected in a lot of ways, but it's always good to be disconnected in a lot of other ways. Like, we don't have to be complete, carbon copies of our environment or our society. And that's what I want to do about that's why I'm doing this music. Like, no, I know first of all, I know that there's a demographic out there that hasn't had anything new to buy that does what I do.
That's true. It's definitely true. They say R&B is missing a lot right now.
And there's some good R&B out there right now, but just not the kind of R&B I do. Okay. I'm a little more gritty. I growl a little bit more. I don't auto-tune it up.
Okay, natural. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't auto-tune it up.
All right, so with the documentary though, man, what can we expect to see on that? Is it going to be following you like a day-to-day type thing, or is it something where you're just speaking about your time from from the beginning up to now?
I think it's here again a little bit of a culmination of the two. We're going to definitely allow the general public to see some of those day-to-day angles as far as being in certain events or doing certain things, whether it be a show or interview, things like that. We'll give them some personal, real life, active rolling scenes, but then we're going to give them some things that kind of hint towards some things they didn't know about me, and sit down and kind of take a ride into the past and connect with some issues that really had a lot to do with the development of who I am as an artist. And then maybe you'll see why I choose to write the kind of songs I do, or why maybe I'll choose the general direction of the music you hear. And you'll understand, okay, well, wow, when he was a kid, he used to listen to this kind of music. Boom, I see why, that influences this. And, just little snapshots of who I am to make everyone feel like there's a sense of ownership for them. Okay.
Definitely. I just got one question real quick I just thought about while listening to you talk. Especially being from Virginia, so I'm going to make this a regional question for you. Do you feel like your name should be mentioned more when it comes to the, I don't want to say hierarchy, but I would say like the class of Virginia artists? Because, you know, we always hear like Missy, Timbaland, the Clips, Neptunes, you know, Trey, Chris, Skills, all of them. Do you feel like your name should be mentioned more when it comes to some of the artists in VA who've been out here making waves?
I mean, man, it never mattered to me.
Okay.
It really didn't, or else it would really burn me. You know, because I'm a cool kind of guy, but you know, look, man, my switch is my switch. Like it would really, it would really burn me. But it doesn't, because I've always seen myself as that guy that sometimes had to do more with less.
Okay.
And still, a lot of those guys that, you know, have, and then I'm not mad at them, because there's some things that they had to do that I'll never do. So I'm not mad.
Hey, you know what? we will sign out right there. So look, I definitely want to say, I did have one more question too, man. I heard you had a partnership with Giati. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay, hold on. Turn all the way around so the camera can get you, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Okay, I see you got on the hat. Okay,
yeah, man. Well, you know, Giati is a brand that I connected with, man, because the meaning of it and the programming of the nature of the brand it's me.
Okay.
It's sportswear, but it's got some flash to it.
Okay.
It's street, but then it has a spiritual vibe to it. You know, there's so many little elements about it, and I'm that kind of guy. I can be kind of quirky, but yet still I have a very huge attention for detail.
Okay.
And the smallest things mean something big to me.
Definitely, I understand
you know,
that.
And you know, all the way down to the name. You know, greatness is always the attention. Greatness is always the intention, and that's how I've lived my life. I've always wanted to be great, whether it was basketball, music, whatever, writing. I want to be great, you know. My 11th grade year, I'm sitting up in college, campuses taking writing classes. Nobody else was doing that. There was nobody else in my high school doing that. I know that summer. I know they weren't in there. I know they weren't. But I've always wanted to be great.
Okay.
And so it's just a brand that, like I said, it speaks and it embodies who I ultimately want to be and who I consider myself to be at this point as well in my life. And I think that, you know, it's a brand that will grow just like I'm going to grow. You know, like, you know, the brand is going to eventually, you know, have a whole nother side to it, just like me.
Okay. Dope. So let people know where they can find Giati. Like,
well,
if there's any socials or anything like that?
Right now, I believe, are we fully up and ready online? We are? Okay, is it just Giati.com or what is it? Brand. Okay, it's GiatiBrand.com. Okay.
Giati, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And so you can find us at GiatiBrand.com. All right, you can go through there and you can see some of the pictures of the lines and, you know, this current season as far as what styles will be available. And like I said, there will be some growth coming. We've had some talks of bringing some other kind of fashions into the line as well. Maybe some more mature wear. Maybe I think we're going to hit a little more of the jean side, some jean suits, things like that for the summer. You know, things that'll be conducive to the weather change and, you know, the season we're heading into. So,
you know, Giati is looking for more sponsorship partners. Right. You know, your favorite cousin is always available to do some things. You know what I mean?
Man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
All right, well, look, man, I definitely appreciate you for trusting us today with your story, man. It wasn't just about the music. This is about your growth, resilience, you know, refusing to quit when life hits you different.
Right.
I want y'all to make sure y'all go out there and support Gov's new music, you know, the brand. Stay locked in for the documentary, and definitely run this interview back 100 times, you know what I mean, 1,000 times, all that good stuff. And if you're rocking with us, make sure you subscribe, download the GOATverse TV app. You know who it is. It's your favorite cousin. Until next time, stay real, grounded, and protect your purpose. Peace.